Hello, everybody, and welcome to another vintage cube draft where we have the Signet pack. That's kind of hilarious. Just have three nice signets all next to each other. They're three red signets, no less. Um, this pack is pretty weak. There's a few things that are solid. I like Prismatic Vista. I would prefer to take a real fetch land. When there's triomes and original duels and shock lands, there's tons of good fetchable lands to find that are non-basics. But Prismatic Vista is solid. It's like the worse your fixing is, the better this land is. Ideally, you're not playing a bunch of basics in your four-color deck, but if you are, Prismatic Vista is maybe the best fetch land. Sylvan Library is pretty good. Not a card I love to first pick, but it's not bad. I think Is It Signet is the best of the signets. And there's Solitude and Chandra. And I think I'm leaning towards taking a Chandra here. This card is very, very strong. It's great in mono red. It's also great in like mid-range and control decks. Even good in combo. Making 2 mana every turn is pretty solid. And then we'll almost definitely wheel one of the three red signets. So if we're like a more mid-rangey deck, then that's pretty good. Oh, wow. Okay. Splinter Twin and Kiki Jiki in the same pack. That's interesting. Um, it's really high upside to take one and try to wheel the other. The problem is much more likely we take one, then someone else takes the other, and then whoever else takes that one will take all the cards we need. I'm kind of tempted to still go for it after taking a red card pack one. And then the second question is, if we're going for it, which one do we take? Kiki Jiki is much harder to cast, which does make it more likely to wheel, especially if no one is playing heavy red. But it's also a little bit better on its own. Like, you can just cast this and copy, like, Eternal Witness or whatever, whereas Splinter Twin, like, once you put it on one thing, you can't copy anything else. Also, you can find this with Imperial Recruiter and Recruiter of the Guard. There's also just, like, Spell Pierce and, like, Library of Alexandria, maybe Toxic Deluge, but I think I'm going to take the Twin. Hopefully the Kiki comes around. Very high upside pick. We'll see if we can get there. Okay, if we are playing Kiki, if we're playing the Twin combo, we want to be playing blue, so I think I'm going to take Consider here. You could take Wasteland, you could take Zytor's Proving Ground, could go for Wheel of Fortune, but yeah, I think Consider is the pick here. Okay. Blue not looking super open, which is not a great surprise. There's Avalanche Riders in red. I like Elspeth a lot. There's Karn. Could take the Spars headquarters. I think I'm going to take the Elspeth, though. Jeskai is the color combination you want to play with Twin. I guess it doesn't work with Splinter Twin, but Restoration Angel is yet another way to combo with these cards. And, yeah, it's just a really powerful card. Okay, here we see... Alright, blue is looking very cut. Kolaghan's Command is definitely the best card in this pack. There's Natural Order, too. Goblin Rabble Master is solid. I think I'm going to take the Kolaghan's Command, though. And maybe we just take the Rabble and keep the deck a little simpler. Kolaghan's Command is so strong, though. Yeah, I'm going to take the Command. So, a lot of different directions we could go from here. We're not committed to anything yet. Now, if we're playing... Okay, so we have 4 different colors of things here. Shriekmaw is very good. How likely are we to play black? I think fairly likely. It also works well with Splinter Twin. Yeah, I think I'm going to take Shriekmaw here. Good removal. Whoa, okay. So Tropical Island, Raphelos, Dark Confidant, and Kroxa are all very interesting. I think I'm going to take the Kroxa. I like the Bob, but I think Kroxa is a bit better. Dark Confidant is situationally very good, but it requires you to have a very specific mana curve. It's bad with, like, Shriekmaw. Yeah, let's take the Kolaghan's Command, or the Kroxa. And now we see a few options. Maelstrom Pulse is one option. So what we could go towards Jund. Yeah, green. Yeah, I think I am gonna take this. We have all sorts of stuff here. But I think we're settling in on something, which is probably just gonna be Jund. So this was this was not our first pack. This Boros Signet Wield. That's not really the Signet we wanted. I think I'm taking the Downfall here. Black is looking pretty open. And now next is the Kiki pack, and if we wheel the Kiki, we can go in that direction, and if not, we'll just cut the Twin and be Jund, and like we can still play Chandra, and then we'll just be like probably cutting to Consider. I mean, who knows? We're base black-red, and then we could play maybe blue, maybe green. So the Kiki did not wheel. I think I'm taking Bauble here. It's good with Kroxa. Yeah, let's take the Bauble. So it's possible we do still revisit this Kiki or the twin combo. It's not going to be super open. So my preferred way to be playing twin is to be the only one playing it, and then you get an early pack that has Deceiver Exarch and like Ancestral Recall, and you can just take the Ancestral and not worry about anyone taking your twin combo piece. But I don't think that's going to work here, unfortunately. Okay, I think I'm taking Nahiri here over Golos. But the lack of fixing is very concerning, certainly. Oh man, okay. Sketchy start. I'm not in love with the start. I mean, the spells are good. If we get the fixing, then I think this is a really, really cool start. But it's going to be completely unplayable if we get no lands, and we have literally none after the first pack. So we need to do some soul searching here. We might need to trim the fat and like cut blue maybe, and just maybe cut green and be Mardu. That's one possibility, because now we have Palace Jailer as the best card by a lot. I like Fury too. There's Xander's Lounge. Yeah, I'm going to take the Jailer, though. Strange and somewhat meandering start. I think Mardu is probably what's looking best based on our current card pool. But still, the mana base is just unplayable right now. Okay, I think we need to take Sacred Foundry. I love both Gideons. I love Stoneforge, Strip Mine, Inquisition, Blackleaf Cliffs. Like a lot of cards that would be good here. But if we want to be able to play Palace Jailer, and yeah, I think red-white is pretty open. So we're going to take this and hope to wheel the Blackleaf Cliffs. Gideon and Gideon would be good too. But yeah, let's take this. Great pickup, honestly. We desperately needed a good fetchable land. All right, now that we have a bit of an identity, what do we want? We have pretty good card advantage. We want fixing, of course, and then cheap interaction, cheap discard spells in particular. Here we see Imperial Recruiter, but Kiki is not in our deck. It's good with Palace Jailer, but I still think we just got to take the Scalding Tarn here. Dismember would be a nice wheel. Council's Judgment would be a nice wheel. Either of these red 3-drops, but we'll take the Tarn. Right now it gets red-white. We could splash blue, potentially. Or we could just be this Mardu deck, but then we need to get a land that makes Scalding Tarn get black, ideally. Okay. Ooh, wow, 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 wow. Thoughtseize is so good, and then there's 2 perfect lands for us. I think Thoughtseize is one of the only cards that's good enough that I would take here over one of these lands. First of all, there's a chance one of them comes around. Yeah, I think I've got to take the Thoughtseize here. This deck is not going to be, like, you can't play a deck without blue unless you have discard spells or a fast clock. You have to have at least one of those two, ideally both. Right now we don't really have a fast clock. We don't have counter magic. We don't have discard. Yeah, we need this type of interaction. Otherwise, we'll just lose to combo decks. Really, really hoping one of these 2 lands wheels, though. Okay, there's Scrubland and Plateau. We already have a Sacred Foundry, so I think we take the Scrubland. We can't find it with Scalding Tarn, but still a good pickup. A lot of good stuff in this pack for us, but yeah, let's take the land. Okay, I think we just take another land. Chain Lightning would be good, but yeah, I want to be able to cast my spells. Okay. Seagram Coast is there if we're playing blue, but I think we just take Abbot of Carol Keep. Not a super exciting pick, but solid creature. All right, Esper Sentinel is interesting. Skyclave Apparition is good too, but I think we take the Sentinel. Okay, Temple Garden. We could take this and try and wheel the Stoneforge, but I think I'd rather just take the Night's Whisper. Okay, the Stoneforge did come around, but we're going to just take the land. This is a really, really nice wheel. Grave Titan, Gideon, both would be solid, but I'm not too worried about getting, like, solid, expensive cards. Okay, Imperial Recruiter, pretty solid. Right now it can get Palace Jailer, Abbot, Esper Sentinel, so it's basically always going to be getting the Jailer. If we got no more creatures that this could find, I might end up needing to cut it, but we'll be able to get something else, I'm pretty sure. One thing that would be nice to get with this is it's something that can interact with the board well. So it unfortunately cannot find Shriekmaw. This one looks based on power. So Recruiter of the Guard could find Shriekmaw, but Imperial Recruiter cannot. But if we could get Ravenous Chupacabra or something like that, Or like Skyclave Apparition, that would be nice to get with a recruiter. Although I guess Palace Jailer is sort of that version of removal too. All right, we got no lands in pack 1. We got 5 in pack 2. That's great, but we still have a ways to go. Hopefully we get 5 more in pack 3. Skull Clamp isn't really getting there. We could have taken the Stoneforge and gone for that, but the only card in our deck that it's really good with is Elspeth right now. I guess it's good with Recruiter too, but like that's a lot of mana. Playing this, playing Skull Clamp, equipping it, that's 5 mana to draw 2 and search for something. Like in a really long grindy game, that can be good, but it's not really where we want to be. Okay, amazing. Wall of Omens could be good, but very, very happy to see the Badlands Wheel. Also not super surprised. We already have a couple of the big pulls to black-red. Now Scalding Tarn can get all 3 of our colors. Okay, we'll take another Recruiter. Lurrus is interesting, but we're definitely not going to meet the companion requirement. Lots of expensive permanents we want. It's like really good with Bauble, pretty good with Croxa, or yeah, pretty good with Croxa, but I think I'm just taking the Recruiter. All right, definitely found a lane. We were feeling a bit scattered early on in the draft, and then after the first pack, we had a somewhat of a cohesive game plan, but no lands to facilitate it. But now we have good fixing. The curve is looking a lot better. It's definitely coming well. Now the main things we want are more fast mana, or more cheap interaction and more fast mana. So an Uncolor Mox would be really good, of course. This would be a pretty good Black Lotus deck. Lotus into turn 1 Chandra or Palace Jailer will probably win. Also, like Ragavan would be really good here. Also, more spot removal. We have surprisingly little spot removal given that we're playing the 3 colors that have removal. Like, there's not really blue and green removal, so we're playing removal colors deck. Okay, interesting. There's Savai Triome, which is the perfect Triome for this deck. There's Mana Leak, which I wish we could play. Bloodchief's Thirst is good. Demonic Tutor is a really strong card. This is not really the deck for it, but it is a strong card. I think I'm just going to make sure we get the Triome. It might come around, but it's by far the card that I want most from this pack. Yeah, if we had more of a combo finish with Demonic Tutor, I would take this card. But just like playing Demonic Tutor to find Palace Jailer is like, we already have 2 recruiters that do that better. And we don't have like broken spells. We don't have Ancestral Recall or Time Walk or anything. Like, you can play Demonic Tutor to find Kolaghan's Command, and it's like, that's an okay curve. But yeah, I think I just want to make sure we can cast our spells. Ooh, there's a Raggy. That's awesome. I would definitely have to play Chrome Mox. Unholy Heat would be good. These would also be solid, cheap, disruptive elements. We could maybe even be an Entomb deck. Entomb for Croxa. But easy Ragavan. That's amazing. We have Ragavan plus Esper Sentinel. The holy duo of broken Modern Horizons 1-drops. All right, pretty easy snuff out here, and that's an incredible pickup. We should have plenty of swamps. We're also not playing Dark Confidant, so I'm not too worried about paying a lot of life. Yeah, just a really solid removal spell. This is our only unconditional removal spell other than Hero's Downfall. Incinerate would be good too. Like, both of these are good blue cards, but yeah, snuff out. Okay. I think I'm taking Skyclave Apparition here. History of Benalia is kind of interesting. Scrapheap Scrounger could be good, but yeah, let's take this. Now we see, there's the Exarch, so we could take that, but that just, I don't want to splash blue. We don't have good fixing. I don't think that's where we should be. There's Stomping Ground, but also that's not really where we want to be, so it's Liliana or Probe. Probe works really well with Croxa, and that's pretty much it. We don't have anything else. I guess it's like fine with Abbott. I think I'd rather have the Lily here. Kind of close. Okay, nice. Late Godless Shrine. Hopefully Lightning Helix Wheels. It might, but we need more mana. We just took double white and double black cards back to back, so let's be disciplined. Okay. The Scarab God is great and pretty easy to splash, but we just have to play like at a basic island. That doesn't seem worth it. Let's take Vindicate. Oust is good too, but I think Vindicate's better. This is probably a 17 land deck, could potentially be 18, depending on how bad our fixing is. But we have no no mana rocks or anything, which does push us slightly towards a higher land count. Ooh, love getting a late Verdant Catacombs. That is incredible. Yeah, like Graveyard Trespasser would be okay. Maybe a sideboard card. Late Memory Deluge. I do love this card, but yeah, Verdant can get Savai Triome and Godless Shrine, Scrubland, Badlands. So perfect fetch land. Now we see, I think, Bloodchief's Thirst. Not bad. So I think I would like to play all of these spells. So if the draft ended right now, I would run it like this with 18 lands. If we get one more playable, what do we cut? Hard to say. Okay, Chromox or Mana Tithe. I think they're both a bit better than Mesmeric Fiend and Blade Splicer. Man, close pick. I think I'm going to take the Tithe. Yeah, Mana Tithe is a really strong card. Okay, what's the cut here? Maybe having 2 recruiters is a little bit much. Yeah, I'll cut the Imperial Recruiter. Recruiter of the Guard is better because it can find Shriekmaw, and otherwise they find all the same stuff. Okay, land tax for the draw. I don't think we're an Aurelia deck. Are we a Scrapheap Scrounger deck? Probably not in the main deck, but we could be. It is like, it hits hard. Probably not in the main, but if we have a matchup where we don't need some of the removal, or like against combo or control, we need a faster clock, we can bring in a nice, cheap, hard-hitting creature. All right, let's sort by color. I gotta say, Mardu is not a color combination I've explored very much. I think it's usually going to be pretty weak, but this is a good build of it. 9 white, 10 black, 7 red, pretty even. So out of the lands we have here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 white, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 black. It's kind of funny. Ooh, Koth is interesting. I don't think we're a Goblin Guy deck, but Koth is actually pretty sweet here. I probably won't main deck it, but we could. And we get Helix. That is a card I'll main deck. So if we were to play 8 basics, we could do this. This gives us 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 stack, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red. Yeah, that seems pretty good to me. All right, we'll submit like this. We have a pretty sweet Mardu deck. Mardu midrange, not a common color combination, but let's go to work and let's draw Ragavan on every turn 1. See you in round 1. All right, here we are for round 1. We're on the draw against Omega Red 47. Great hand, no white mana, but Ragavan on turn 1 is the best start. Kolaghan's Command on turn 3 is nice. There's our planes. You always want to be on the play, and you even more want to be on the play when you have a Ragavan, but this is still not terrible. Do they have a blocker? Hopefully they play a Signet, and then we can hit them with a Ragavan and Kolaghan's Command to kill the Signet. Looks like a Porcelain Legionnaire, okay. So cannot kill that yet, but we can next turn. Knight's Whisper, great draw. More good draws, okay. We don't have double white yet, but we'll get there. So next turn we can play Liliana or Kolaghan's Command to kill the Legionnaire. It depends on what they do. I kind of hope they play another creature, and then we can play Kolaghan's Command to kill them both. Inquisition, okay. I mean, we have many ways to kill that Legionnaire, so they're still not safe from a Ragavan hit unless they have something else. They take the Lily, okay. Now that they know about the Kolaghan's Command, though, they're not just going to jam something that dies to it. Oh, they do just jam something that dies to it. Okay, this is great. We're just going to go 2 damage, destroy target artifact. Kolaghan's Command is so strong. Destroy target artifact, 2 damage to any target. And Kolaghan's Command loses 1 target, but it still has one target as it resolves. So it does not fizzle. If we said like, well, no, okay. So we'll hit them for 2. Make a treasure. Probably not cast anything this turn, but who knows? We could hit Ancestral Recall out of their deck. Just a plane, so we'll pass. But great position. We got a two. We have two. We've gotten two 2-for-1s already. We've gotten some mana advantage with Ragavan. Our life total is high. Our hand is very good and very interactive. Oblivion Ring the Ragavan. Okay. So we could Skyclave Apparition the Oblivion Ring, or Vindicate it, or just jam Palace Jailer. Honestly, I think we should just jam Palace Jailer. Yeah, they can't counter it. Yeah, I think that's just the right play. Like, yes, we're losing the ETB ability of exiling a creature, but we have so much other removal that I'm not too worried about them playing a creature we can't deal with. And this lets us get our card draw going as soon as possible. I mean, yeah, look at this. We have 4 removal spells. They are not going to be able to win with creatures. Tidehollow Scholar looking at our handful of removal. They should probably take Bloodchief's Thirst, because that's the cheapest. And now if they have Counterspell into Removal Spell, they could potentially get there. But, like, I still feel pretty good about our position. They take the Apparition. They go down to one card in hand. Okay, which one of our many removal spells do we want to use here? I think I'm going to actually start with Abbot, hoping to hit land, and then Bloodchief's Thirst to kill this. And even if they counter the Thirst, we have multiple blockers. Okay, interesting. So we'll go for the Thirst. Again, we have 2 ways to kill Planeswalkers, so I'm not worried about saving our Planeswalker removal. If they counter this, we can shock this into play, but they don't counter it, so we can just calmly play this tapped. Hit for 2 and pass. They only have 1 card. Looking quite good for the home team. They could play like end of turn Shark Typhoon for 1 or something and become the Monarch for 1 turn, but then we can just become the Monarch right back. Okay. So we're both playing black-white, but they're playing blue and we're playing red, and it turns out that red is the stronger color. Skyclave Apparition is not very impressive here. Alright, so we're going to go for a Helix, kill this, gain some life, hit them for 3. And then we could Vindicate this Oblivion Ring, but I think I'm just going to pass. We're still drawing 2 cards a turn. Let's just hold up our removal. And we have a pretty quick clock. We're hitting them down to 10. Next turn we can almost kill them. And here we can exile the Oblivion Ring. This is looking great. The Desperation card draw into the Concession is my guess. All right, Probe for information, sure. Okay, they're fighting the good fight. I'm just going to try and get this thing done. We'll kill this. Then we can get double prowess trigger on our turn and kill them, or threaten lethal. Alright, and then we'll blow up Oblivion Ring, trigger prowess, hit for 8. Okay, so Esper midrange, they have a lot of creatures, so I like all of our removal. On the draw, land tax looks pretty good. We can cut 1 swamp for land tax. It's a little greedy, I guess. We do have a high curve. I think it's okay. Yeah, we'll run like this. I love this deck. Very high card quality. So much removal. We could struggle against just like Ancestral Recall, Snapcaster Ancestral, Mystic Confluence, Cryptic Command, like hardcore blue card draw, where our removal doesn't line up that well. But in addition to having a lot of removal, we do have a lot of good threats that can take over the game. Like Ragavan, Kroxa, Palace Jailer. These cards can all completely take over the game, especially if they're backed with removal. And then you could always just get an easy win with Thoughtseize from the game where they keep Island, Ancestral Recall, and then 5 bad cards, and then you just Thoughtseize the Ancestral and they die. Okay, we got the land tax, so that could have been a basic if they if they let us do the land tax thing, which they probably will. Then land tax will be far better than a basic. So we'll get red white, cast land tax and pass. And I think we're just jamming Abbott, assuming they play land here. If they don't play land, it's sort of a weird situation. Then we'll just then we'll just pass back and forth for a bit without ever playing any spells. But they don't decide to go into that game, so we do this. How many lands do we want to get? I think I'm just gonna get. Let's see. If we get 2 lands, that would put us up to 9 cards. Then we go land Abbott and don't discard to hand size. Do we want to just take a land out of our deck and discard it to hand size? I honestly think the answer is no. It is good with Kroxa, but I still think I want to actually hit up my land drops, not just throw them into the graveyard. Mishra's Bauble. No such luck. All right, we'll pass back. And now we have the removal train starts this turn. Okay, are they going to bounce the Abbott or plus? I hope they plus when we have Skyclave. They do bounce the Abbott, though. I think I'm actually not going to do that here because, again, I don't want to discard all my cards to hand size. I'm going to replay the Abbott. I don't really want to Skyclave this thing. Shriekmaw, okay. Tapped land, pass. It's kind of interesting. There is an argument for just spamming 3 lands every turn and just filling up our graveyard with lands, but I think I do want to actually have the lands in circulation, not just sitting in the graveyard. We do have a pretty high curve, and we don't have that many basics in our deck. Oblivion Ring the Abbott, okay. So I think I'm gonna play Nahiri and minus on the Oblivion Ring here. I just don't care that much about Teferi. So let's get, if we get 1 land, then we go up to 9 cards in hand and play land and Nahiri. Yeah, I think I'll do that. That gives us the other option of playing Esper Sentinel into Skyclave Apparition, which gives us more power on the board. Honestly, that might be better. But then again, Skyclave Apparition is our clean way to deal with the Teferi if that becomes a problem. Yeah, let's just get the Nahiri into play. And for the 3rd time, we're going to get an Abbott trigger that we can't use, unless it's Mishra's Bauble. Okay. With some decks, I would be worried about exiling a bunch of our good cards and then just running out of win conditions. But this deck is very threat dense, so I'm not too worried about it for us. I'll get 2 lands, leave 2 in the deck. Then let's Nahiri, pitch one of these planes. I think I will go for the Hero's Downfall here. We'll see if they counter it. Even if they counter it, we can just hit them with, we can kill them with the Abbot, or kill the Teferi with the Abbot attack. So we should be able to kill this Teferi either way. And then we have Mana Tithe available. We don't have a ton of answers to Creeping Tar Pit. Okay, nice Mana Tithe here. So we could have ended up getting, we could have gotten 3 lands there and still not had to discard the hand size here. But if they play another land, then we will get the last 2 basics out of our deck. This land tax has been insane. It's literally drawn us 5 cards. I think we discarded none of the hand size, yeah. So it's just been a clean 5 for 1. It's like a way better version of Ren in 6. Honestly, our hand is kind of weak. Actually, no, it's not weak. We have removal and card advantage. If they played like 5 mana Teferi here, it could get a little bit dicey. We've already gone through Hero's Downfall and Recruiter and Bloodchief's Thirst. We do have Vindicate still as a clean answer to Planeswalkers. Murktide Regent. Well, we have an answer to that. If they can counter the Palace Jailer, things could get a little hairy. So let's grab our last 2 basics. And then this Verdant Catacombs can get Scrubland and Savai Triumph, so it still has a couple of targets. Ragavan, interesting. I think I'm still just going to discard the Verdant, though. Helix, okay. Let's go Plains. Palace Jailer. Hopefully this resolves. Oh, I didn't realize that Murktide was only a 4/4 too. Okay. Then we could dash Ragavan, but I think I'm just going to hold up Lightning Helix to kill the Tar Pit if they go for that attack. We are going to have to discard a card to hand size, but that's okay. Looks like they're just going for the Tar Pit, which is great news. So we're going to, with Colonnade, you want to kill it before they attack. So if they use the Colonnade for mana, then they can no longer attack. But with Creeping Tar Pit, you want to let them attack first. So they don't have, like now they can't play Force of Negation. And they might scoop to this. Alright, sweet. Very dominant start. This deck seems really fun. We're 1-0, fighting for trophy number 68. I'll see you in round 2. Alright, we're on the play against James Grew for round 2. And yeah, we can keep this. Kind of an interesting situation here. So, Bobble lets us scry. I think I just want to hold up Mana Tithe, though, and I don't want to shock, so what I'm going to do is just play this, and pass. Playing against a fan. Always love to see that. We're going to pass. And we have Mana Tithe at the ready if we need it, and it looks like we should go for it. So we'll grab black-white with this. Mana Tithe this. And then end of turn, we'll crack the Bauble to see their top card. Just in case we draw a 2-drop that we want to play. But most likely we're just playing Savai Triumph and passing here. So we'll see if they're playing Reanimator. I hope they're not. I think Reanimator would be a pretty rough matchup. Swamp. Looks like they are. Hmm. Given that, no, I'm still just gonna play the Triumph. If we didn't have the Nahiri, I would consider playing it Sacred Foundry tapped and holding the cycle land. But given that we have Nahiri, we can cycle away excess lands without too much of a problem. Snuff Out's probably gonna be pretty bad against what looks to be a mono black deck. Let's shock this into play and remove the Bob. It's a really good thing we're going first. If they were going first, we wouldn't have been able to tithe their thing, and we also would not be able to Skyclave Apparition, their Dark Confidant, so we would have been in a much worse position. Night's Whisper, okay. Ooh, is that better than Nahiri? I don't think so this turn, actually. Nahiri cycling away the Snuff Out seems pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to play Nahiri first. It's close. I really want to find interaction, like Thoughtseize, also just finding a fast clock. If our hand was better, I wouldn't do this. Okay, Thoughtseize is a great draw. That's exactly what we're hoping to find. So if they do something terrifying this turn, it's bad. Like, they could just Mind Twist our hand. But if they don't do something super significant on the board, we can Thoughtseize next turn. Rats. Okay, that's bad. Okay, let's loot away this. Find Palace Jailer. Lightning Helix, okay. So we can ultimate the Nahiri and find Palace Jailer next turn. We can also just find Imperial Recruiter and then search for Palace Jailer and cast Palace Jailer. That might be better. That is terrible. Okay, now we're just really behind. Recurring Nightmare, but they have no creatures in play and no creatures in their graveyard, so that's not too scary. Problem is we don't have that much of a clock on them. Drawing Swamp is quite bad. I will play it, though. Yeah, that Mind Twist was tough. Maybe we were supposed to play the Chandra, although I think Nahiri honestly has done more work for us. The Chandra, I guess, would have hit them for 4, but we wouldn't have drawn 2 cards. So we're looking for like Ragavan, Kroxa, Imperial Recruiter, Palace Jailer, Night's Whisper. We have a lot of live draws. Vindicate, that's an interesting one. Do we Vindicate the Recurring Nightmare? I'm leaning towards no. Do they have a kill spell? Oh, it could be Fatal Push, and they need to trigger Revolt. Okay. So this happens. They get their 2/2. I think I will Vindicate this Recurring Nightmare now. Like, we could just try to, like, hope it never gets there, and just, like, Helix their illusion and just go on that way. But I think that's a little bit too risky, especially since we no longer have that much of a clock. If we could kill them in 3 turns, we could just try to, like, make this a bad card. But if this game goes long, which it's looking like it will, then I think that wouldn't really work. Honestly, I'm going to Helix this. Not 100% sure on this, but I think my life total is somewhat relevant, and I want the board to be clear. Okay, we can get Skyclave Apparition back from the graveyard. Let's just pass, though. Nothing proactive to do with that yet. Braids, Arisen Necropolis. Okay. I'll just sacrifice land if they sack one. All right, now I'm going to go, you discard and we return Skyclave Apparition. So this creature, you discard. Hopefully they don't discard like a Grizzlebrand here. It could happen. This is the problem with these sorts of non-targeted discards against Reanimator. Sometimes you just end up helping them. We'll see what they discard. Okay, just a Swamp. That's great. Now we can take out their Braids, and we'll be slightly ahead on board. Interesting game. Sort of a low-resource type game, where there's been a lot of removal, a lot of discard, trading resources back and forth. We're slightly ahead right now, I think. I mean, we have 7 extra life and a 2/2 on board. Okay, they kill our thing, so now they have a 3/3 on board. I mean, it's really close. It's just going to come down to who top decks better. We're playing 17 lands, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lands down. Okay, they top deck, or they play land for Grave Titan. So now we're way behind, of course. We need to top deck immediately, but there's not even that many things that would do it at this point. Basic Plains, we're not dead on board, but we don't have any live draws, so they got us. Tough game. I thought we were in a good spot, but that Mind Twist hurt a lot, and Grave Titan took over the game. Okay, on the play, do we want to make any changes? Snuff Out is not good, nor is Shriek Maw. I think we can bring in the Recruiter to have more value. And Scrap Heap Scrounger. Yeah, I think I like that plan. Going a little bit more threat dense here. Bloodghast is another consideration, but I think I like the Scrounger a bit better because it hits harder and it's easier to cast. Alright, on the play. Good hand. So it's kind of interesting. If we crack the Bauble now, we could draw Mana Tithe, but it also means that their discard spells are better. And I don't even care that much about the discard spell, so I think I'm just going to Bauble them in their upkeep here, so that if we, like, top deck Ragavan or something really good, they can't make us discard that. Interesting. They're playing blue. Okay. Did not see any of that last game. So we're going to play Night's Whisper, I think, first. Kroxa we're in no rush to play Kroxa. In fact, again, it's kind of a liability. There's even an argument for cutting it, but I think it's worth it. It's a pretty big part of our overall game plan. But what we want is to ideally end up discarding it to Nahiri or something like that, and then bringing Kroxa back later. But I do think they're playing Reanimator, but they're not an all-in Reanimator deck. All right, so we're going to get to see 4 new cards this turn. First the Bauble, then our Draw Step, then 2 off the Night's Whisper. Okay, there's our second white source. That's good. A lot of good cards here. We could consider vindicating their Xander's Lounge. We do know that they have an island in hand. No play. Honestly, I think I'm going to go for it. This isn't a play I always like to make, but in this spot where we're up a card, we have Kroxa, like we want the game to be a little bit slow. I think this seems fine. They Mana Leak? Okay. Fair enough. We are a bit constrained on red mana. We don't have double red, so we're not able to go Helix plus Kroxa in the same turn. Duress, okay. That only has 1 target, so bye-bye Lightning Helix. They play a permanent here, we can take it out with Apparition. And otherwise, we can just play Kroxa and play tapped land. Oh, wait, why did I think Elspeth was a creature? All right, so they take that, and then they play Collective Brutality. Oh, Wishclaw Talisman. Okay, I think I'll just take that out with... I don't care about it too much, but it represents potential scariness. We don't know what's in their deck, so let's just take it out. And now, hopefully they don't Mind Twist our hand. That could happen. Kroxa's our best response to that, though. We do need to eventually find a second red source, but we have a lot of red in our deck. Okay, they play Bazaar. Now Kroxa's not bad anymore because they already have a discard outlet, so we don't need to worry about letting them discard cards that they would prefer to have in the graveyard anyways. Plains was the worst draw in the deck. Maybe Swamp would have been worse, I guess. All right, we'll play Swamp because they know about it. Play Kroxa. And then we'll hit them with a Skyclave. Their life total is a little bit low, but not really low enough where Helix on their face is a tempting option. But Kroxa will lower their life total pretty quickly. So hopefully they at least can't do like if they don't put a big creature into play this turn, and then we top deck a red source for escaping Kroxa, I think we're in a great spot. I guess we actually do need one more card in the yard for Kroxa. So fetch land would be the best draw. Scalding Tarn. Okay, no big boys in the graveyard. That's great news. Of course, they could do it here. If they kill the Skyclave, okay, Vampiric Tutor, main phase. That's a little scary. They're very likely to put something big into play with Bazaar this turn, but that'll be their last card, and we have Hero's Downfall, which kills a lot of stuff. And if they put, like, Grizzlebrand into play, yeah. Okay, they put Archon in. They're going to go Archon. That's fine. Reanimate. Okay, that puts them down to 3. Man, this Helix is almost lethal. If we could Helix right now, it would be lethal. I'm going to kill this now before they get their draw because I don't want them to find Spell Pierce. So we sack our Skyclave. They go to 6, just out of range of our Lightning Helix. But I think we're still in a pretty good spot here. Any red source gives us Kroxa. Any other spell we can cast, pretty much. Interesting. Do we loot away this Helix? No. Do we? So we're gonna play Nahirian plus. I think I'm gonna keep the Helix. It's really close. I think there actually is a very close, like, genuine argument for discarding it. But when they're at 6, they're so low. The problem is, like, there's a lot. If they put Archon into play again, we're gonna lose. I guess there's also an argument to playing Helix on the Illusion, so they can't play Recurring Nightmare. But I think that's a little bit too passive. Oh no. Okay, I think that's just game. Yeah, not much to do about that. Reanimate into the Animate Dead. If we had Red Source, we could have won a couple turns ago, but now we lose both of these. We're down to 8, and Kroxa's nowhere near enough. We need to top deck Palace Jailer or something, and we only have 1 turn to do it. Brutal string of draws. They found back-to-back reanimation spells, so probably going to have to lose here. We'll take a draw step, our last draw step. Scalding Tarn, that would have won us the game so many turns, but we were too late. Really frustrating loss there, frankly. I think our fixing is pretty good, but I guess we only have 9 red sources. Yeah, that's not a great, but you see, even, like, I prioritize lands more highly than most, and still, almost all of my losses, I feel like, are to not having the right lands. If we just had, like, 1 mountain there, we win, and we go into the winner's bracket in the finals, but as it is, I will see you in round 3. Alright, here we are for the finals on the play against Whistler. And great hand. Good hand. Definitely a keep. Turn 1 Esper Sentinel is great. We have a lot of kind of clunky Planeswalkers and only 2 lands, but hopefully the Sentinel is able to draw us a card. We also have a spot removal spell. Alright, pretty happy to draw land there. Alright, that's fine. We can Bloodchief's Thirst it. Vindicate. Is that better? It's more mana efficient. I think I'm going to go with a mana efficiency here. It's pretty close. Interesting decision. But when we have an expensive hand and not that many lands, I think it's good to use all our mana whenever we can. Intrepid Adversary, okay. So if we find land, we can play Chandra minus. Oh, that's too bad. Okay. Land, nice. No Chandra minus, but we can still make some good plays. We'll kill this, play Godless Shrine tapped and pass. And then hopefully we can find a red source, which would give us Chandra. And if we don't, we can just play Nahiri. Or if we find a non-red source. Silverblade Paladin, okay, land. Yes, that is great. Okay, so we get to kill this. The problem is they could potentially try to kill it with the Mistress Factory. Do we chump block if they go for that line? I think the answer is no. Yeah, I think the answer is no. The problem is we don't have a way to protect our next turn. If we had a Lightning Helix or something in hand, I would do that. But if we just like chump block and then play Nahiri and then they just kill Chandra next turn, that's not great. Plus, I mean, if they are going for that line, they're probably not going to be really advancing their board. It seems like that would be okay for us. They do go for this. That's fine. Recruiter of the Guard. Good draw. Let's play that instead of Nahiri. Nahiri is like not getting us that much value here where like we don't want to do any of the abilities this turn. I don't want to discard any cards. We don't have anything to exile. Let's get the Jailer. Hit for 1 and pass. We could also take Ragavan and just cast it, but if they play a big blocker, that doesn't go too well. Parallax Wave. Okay, that's not too bad. We can even exile it with Nahiri if we care. Let's attack. They take it, okay. Then we'll grab black-red, and I'm going to play Nahiri in plus and not discard anything. I'm not really interested in taking out this Parallax Wave for no value. And I also don't want to play Palace Jailer into them becoming the Monarch. Okay, they're just animating the factory and hitting our Nahiri. This is totally fine. Into Revoker naming Nahiri, probably. Okay, good draw. How do we want to do this? So if we play Palace Jailer targeting the Revoker, in response they'll flicker the Revoker with the Parallax Wave, then we can minus the Nahiri to exile the Parallax Wave. They'll get the Revoker back, but we'll have 3 blockers. I think that's fine. Yep. So we do need to exile this because otherwise they can clear our board and with the Parallax Wave and then Mistress Factory hit us. Okay, this doesn't... I mean, all this does is prevent a damage, I guess, which is somewhat relevant, but we're not attacking either way. We're just going to pass. So we're the Monarch. I think we're in a good spot here, but it's not over. Cathar Commando. Okay, so on board they have 3 attackers. We have 3 blockers. If they have removal spell and mana to animate the factory, they can become the Monarch, but then we can probably become the Monarch right back. Drawing tapped land there is awkward. Blackleaf Cliffs is the only land there. Now that Savai Triumph is in the graveyard, that's the only land that wouldn't cast the Elspeth, but it looks like we're good. So playing against black-white aggro should be a very good matchup since we have so much removal, although we don't have any board sweepers. Kitchen Finks and Recruiter are both interesting. I think I will go for the land tax on the draw again. Palace Jailer might be a little sketchy, to be honest. Yeah, their deck is probably going to be full of flyers and stuff that makes it hard to be the Monarch. That makes Recruiter of the Guard worse. Let's play Kitchen Finks. And then I think I'm just going to cut the Recruiter and keep the Swamp in. Stay on 17 lands. Again, I'm much more worried about losing to mana issues than I am about anything else. Okay, happy we're playing 17 for sure. This hand is really high in card quality. I think I'm going to risk it. This definitely has a fail rate, but we have 2 looks. We have Thoughtseize on turn 1, Shriek Maw on turn 2. Ragavan's a great card that can also fix our mana. Okay, we draw not a land, but probably the best spell we could have drawn. Oh no, they have Strip Mine. Okay. I think I'm taking Gideon here. Like in general, you want to take the cheapest card in situations like this, but we have many very effective ways to kill the Silverblade, and we don't for the Gideon. But there goes our swamp. Really want to draw a red source. Ouch. Well, that's the absolute worst case scenario. Keeping a risky 1-lander, then not only do you miss your first 2 land drops, you also get strip mined. Okay, then they're going to put Silverblade into play. Land. Alright. They can play Parallax Wave if they want. That's not that scary, though, to be honest. This is just hitting us for 2 a turn. We do really need to find more lands, of course, but if we find one off the top, and I guess we can't really Shriek Maw the Silverblade that effectively when they have the Parallax Wave, so we just want to find lands. Okay. I guess I'll knock that last card out of their hand. Alright, so we're at 13, but they're top decking, and our hand is stacked. If we find a white source, we get Kitchen Finks. If we find any other land, we can Kolaghan's Command. Oh, man, that is just brutal. Okay, so we're probably dead now. If we top deck a land this turn, we could survive. Sentinel. Okay, so let's cast this. Bloodchief Thirst the Samurai. And pass. That Wandering Emperor off the top is just so painful. They have exactly the right number of lands to play it. Do we go up to 18 lands on the play? It really does feel like every single loss just comes to land stuff. They have a Sentinel of their own, okay. Alright, I don't think we can take... Oh, wait. Well, we have to take 6. We go to 2. Then, if we draw land, we can go... No, Kolaghan's Command doesn't kill this anymore. I think we're just dead. Yeah. I guess we'll go out on our own terms. Alright, on the play here, let's play 18 lands. Absolutely. This deck should have been playing 18 lands this whole time. 10 black, 9 white, but we have a reasonable amount of double white. 8 red. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 white. Honestly, that's so good. We shouldn't have any problems with that. I'll add 1 more swamp, though. And we'll submit like this. Okay, good hand. Once again, the mana is like causing us some troubles. We have all the right colors, but we don't have an untapped red source on turn 1. But still pretty happy to play turn 2 Ragavan. That should be good as well. So Savai Triumph, turn 2, probably, like, we could dash the Ragavan, but I'm leaning towards just casting it. I guess it depends, though. If we don't draw a removal spell, it could be kind of hard to connect with Ragavan on turn 3. So I might just dash it and get the hit in when we know we can. The thing is, if you're dashing Ragavan, it's not making mana. It's net costing you mana. Ooh. Okay, don't love that. Um. think I am going to just dash and force this trade. The next one we can play the Abbot. Playing Croxa doesn't really do much here. And this way, any potential, like if we top deck Vindicate or something, we could cast it. Oh, they just take the hit though. Interesting. All right, I'll play Student of Warfare. It's kind of awesome value. Lingering Souls. Well, that is very good against Ragavan. Night's Whisper. Okay, I think we're going to play Night's Whisper into Ragavan here. Or presumably into Ragavan. Oh, wait, no, I forgot about that. Okay, we'll pay the 1 then. Snuff out. So we could snuff something out right now, but that seems not worth it. So let's just pass. Lingering Souls is very good against our deck. We do have, like, Liliana of the Last Hope. We have some things that answer it well, but it's a scary card. Did they not pair it? No, they didn't. Okay, so we'll take 2. That's fine. Okay, not great. Let's play the Abbot. See what we hit. Brutal. All right, we'll play Scrubland Croxa. Yeah, that's too bad. Chandra would have been one of the best things for us to find. So we'll pass, and probably planning on chump blocking the Silverblade. Gideon, okay. I think this one's not going to go too well for us. It's not over right now, but we're way behind. So I think what I'm actually going to do here is snuff out the Knight ally. It's really bad. It means they get to draw a card, but it also means that we get to take their... we get to kill their Silverblade Paladin, which I think is important. That card is going to be a big problem for us in the long run. So block here, take 1, and then we really want to top deck something good. Okay, I mean, I guess this is what I get for bringing the land. Level this up twice, hit the Gideon. Honestly, I'm going to dash Ragavan too. I want to fill the graveyard for Croxa. So probably trade Chump. Oh, they could also just let Gideon go to 1. Alright, they do choose to let Gideon go to 1. So if they attack us, they could hit us for 7 on the backswing, put us to 4. But if they do that, then the student is threatening to kill their Gideon. But maybe they just don't even care about the Gideon. Oh, they can flashback the souls and get chump blockers that way. Oh, okay. Parallax Wave is quite bad. Elspeth is quite good, though. Oh, no. We're just barely dead. Hilarious. So they take this out with a Parallax Wave. Man, Elspeth would have done it if we could have gotten it down 1 turn earlier, but now we play this in plus, and they can just remove all of our blockers. We also just give them another card. I mean, yeah, I'll concede. So this can remove, that we make 3/1/1s, but they have 4 counters, so they can remove all of our blockers and then hit us with a Gideon and kill us. Alright, so this was our Mardu deck. And I think Mardu is an underpowered color combination. Red, black, white, you get all the good removal, but you don't get the best card draw. You don't get any mana acceleration. I think to make this sort of deck work, you do need, ideally, some fast mana. Like a Mox or 2 could really put this deck over the top. And if you can go, like, turn 1 land, Mox, Ragavan, Thoughtseize, or something like that, that's a broken start. That can beat any deck. But if you're just playing 1 land a turn, and then, like, relying on just, like, kind of clunky 1-for-1s, that's not really a recipe for success. I think you can definitely get there, and we got some really sweet wins where this deck looked very strong. But without good blue cantrips like Consider, you basically just need to rely on drawing the right proportion of everything. Like, you need to draw the right number of lands in the right colors, and, like, enough removal, but not all removal, and a couple threats, but, like, you know, like, you just are a little bit more at the mercy of variants. We could address that a little bit with, like, Recruiter and Imperial Recruiter to find Palace Jailer, which is why I think this deck definitely has the capability of getting a trophy. But we just didn't have quite enough consistency, so in the games where we didn't just draw pretty well. We couldn't fix that, and so we got a couple losses that way. But definitely a sweet league and a sweet deck. It's always fun to get a Ragavan game in. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.